Welcome to Get Connected with Nina Del Rio, a weekly conversation about fitness, health, and happenings in our community on 106.7 Light FM.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us on Get Connected, where these days few things strike more fear into us than the idea of bed bugs. Reportedly, 1 in 10 New Yorkers have dealt with bed bugs at home. Why do they seem to be more common? Why do we keep getting them? Glenn Waldorf of Ben Environmental Services has the facts for us today on the show, and thank you for joining Get Connected.
Hi, good morning. Nice to meet you.
The website is bell-environmental.com. To start with, why do we keep hearing so much more about bed bugs? Are they actually more common, Glenn?
Bed bugs are a widespread problem in New York, and the media doesn't report them as much as during bed bug mania when it first appeared on everyone's radar screen and caused widespread panic. But the problem is, in fact, in a number of homes, a number of businesses, public places. As we've recently seen, the problem is on the subway, but we also encounter problems with bed bugs in schools, libraries, offices, hotels, and many other places that people don't realize.
So there are actually more bed bugs, or it's just reported now because of the trains and that kind of thing?
Well, it's reported now because of the trains. That doesn't mean that the problem is any less than it was a couple of years ago. I think the media attention and immediate fear and concerns have died down, but the problem itself hasn't died down. I mean, the problem, basically, when there are bed bugs in a building, if people don't solve that problem, the problem is only going to grow and it's only going to spread to not just the adjoining units, but potentially throughout the whole building. Because people basically can carry these bed bugs, which hitchhike, wherever they go. So they could come into a school via a child's backpack, they could come home via a person's business trip in their suitcase, and if someone takes their clothes down to the laundry room, the bed bugs can hop from one person's laundry basket to another. So the problem is there. We just haven't been hearing as much in the media about it.
They can also live dormant for a while at home. Is that true?
Bed bugs can live up to a year without feeding. So as a result, they're very, very patient bugs. And if you have an apartment that's empty and it had a bed bug problem, they're just lying in wait for a new group of people to move in.
So some people may be familiar with you through the videos of your dog, Roscoe. They may have seen those on TV. What kind of accuracy does a dog search give you? You usually use a dog search, correct?
Well, it depends if you are seeing bugs or not. I mean, the most important thing is that Roscoe, who's a very handsome trained beagle, and he went to a certified school, so he is very, very accurate. And university studies show bed bugs are up to 98% accurate at finding bed bugs and low-level infestations. Basically, the dogs will tell you if there's a problem there or not. But if you're already seeing bed bugs, we tell our customers there's no need for you to pay for a dog, because if you see a problem, then the idea is that you want to spend your money in the best way, which is solving your problem, rather than hiring Roscoe, who's a handsome dog and liked and lovable and very, very sweet. But to tell you what you already know is not a good use of people's limited budgets.
Is there any bug we might confuse for bed bugs?
Bed bugs are confused with lots of bugs. So people, sometimes think that carpet beetles or spider beetles or baby roaches are all bed bugs. But bed bugs are very, very hard to detect for one particular reason. They hide exceptionally well. Their habits are very, very different than other insects. First, other bugs will be out in the open all the time, or they'll live near food sources for them. Bed bugs also live near food sources, but their food source is very different. They feed on people versus roaches that feed on, garbage and food and things along those lines. So whereas you'll find a roach problem in your kitchen or in your bathroom, bed bugs typically hide close to the bed because, unfortunately, humans are their food. So the most common place we find them is the bed, but specifically in the crevice of a box spring, and they come out about once a week to feed, and otherwise they may be hiding for 7 days in between feedings. So people may not know they have a problem for a while because these bugs are just simply not out in the open. If you do see a bed bug, it's typically about a quarter inch. It's reddish. It's reddish brown. It's kind of ovular, has ridges on it, and it doesn't have wings. It doesn't fly, and the problem that you have with the bed bug, though, is that you need to basically find them and eliminate them where they are and any other bed bugs that are there, because a problem just doesn't go away on its own.
It's kind of like fleas, I would guess. If you have a flea infestation at home, it'll just keep perpetuating itself.
Exactly. But it's much worse because it affects people more than pets.
Sure. And Talking about getting rid of them, you use cyanide?
Yes, Bell Environmental uses carbon dioxide freezing, but the most important thing that you can do to get rid of bed bugs is that you need thoroughness. So as long as you have a thorough approach to basically getting rid of bed bugs where they live and where they can go, that's the best approach. We think that basically using carbon dioxide freezing is the best tool because it's safe, thorough, and effective, which is really what you want in a bedbug solution. You don't want to use a bedbug solution that causes more problems or scatters the bugs or damages your furniture and your electronics, because those are all things that you need to treat as part of your treatment. So what we do is we take a needle in a haystack approach. Because bedbugs really are a moving needle, we think the best approach is to treat the entire haystack of a person's home or office. And as a result, we use a tool that gives us the greatest ability to be thorough in that treatment, and that's carbon dioxide freezing, which is really dry ice, but it's something that hits the bugs at a very cold temperature, and it also hits them with something that's dry, so therefore you can use it universally. It will be effective because the bugs are hit by a blast of cold air that they can't resist, but it's also hitting them in a way that is dry, i.e. it doesn't do any damage to your bed or your couch or your clock radio on your nightstand, and basically all of your possessions are safe at the same time as you get rid of your problem.
If you're clearing out bed bugs out of the bedroom, and I live in a 2-story house, are you also clearing out bed bugs? You're doing the same procedure downstairs throughout the entire house?
It depends on the extent of a problem. The best federal government, state and local protocols are that you need to treat a wide area, because you don't want to just treat bed bugs in one bedroom and to find out later on that they were in another room. And that often happens with people, is that they get very concerned that they have bugs living in their room and they move down the hall. Unfortunately, the bugs follow you. So as a result, what we recommend, which is consistent with the best government authorities and best industry practices, is that you have to treat a wide area. At minimum, if you have an apartment, you really got to treat the whole apartment, all the living areas in an apartment.
We're speaking with Glenn Waldorf of Bell Environmental Services. The website is bell-environmental.com, and the conversation is about bed bugs. 106.7 Light FM, I'm Nina Del Rio, and this is Get Connected. So cyanide is not a chemical, but is it harmful to pets or plants? If you have to spray around the plants, will it kill them?
It's a great question. Basically, cyanide is the use of carbon dioxide freezing. So carbon dioxide is extremely safe. It's what humans and pets themselves exhale every breath, every minute of every day. So it's not harmful to anyone in any way. What you do is basically, you can't just kill bed bugs, though, by breathing on them, whether you've had garlic for lunch or whatever else it is. It's not your bad breath that gets rid of bed bugs. It's basically a way of using a very, very cold natural compound that basically the carbon dioxide is taken down to negative 108 degrees and is sprayed on all these areas. And it hits the bed bugs, but then it instantly evaporates into the air. So it comes out as snow. It stays frozen for just about a minute, and then it evaporates into the air. And any surface that it comes in contact, or any bed, or even if it accidentally got on a person's skin, it would be fine in just a matter of seconds. So it doesn't have a long-term effect except on the target insect.
So someone's going to ask, I know there's a big range, but what's the average cost for, say, a New York apartment extermination?
Sure. Getting rid of bed bugs is not the same as any other pest. It's much more detailed work that goes into it, and the areas and the time that you put into it are much greater. So basically, typically you have to do at least 2 treatments to get rid of bed bugs, and we spend about 2 man-hours per room per treatment. So the cost to get rid of bed bugs is several $100s per room per treatment, and again, you've got to do about two treatments at least per room, and again, you've got to treat as much of that apartment or home as appropriate. So it can be a few $100 to a few $1,000s to get rid of bed bugs. This isn't just a pest that you can get rid of in an easier way. You can't just go down to the store, get a can of spray, and spray and pray that they go away, because in fact the sprays don't work on the bugs. The bugs are immune to most of those sprays, and in fact it just aggravates them and spreads them, not just around your home to places where you don't want them to be, but also to your neighbors, which can potentially over the long run make a problem worse, because the bugs can go somewhere and just come back after you may have scattered them from your own home.
So you're suggesting a professional, but of course you don't want to get them in the first place. So some of your tips to prevent an infestation: when returning from vacation, don't just drop your bags on the bed to unpack.
Correct. I mean, look, The best way to prevent a bed bug issue is basically being eternally vigilant, which we know is tough, but there are a few best practices that you can take. So if you're coming back from vacation, please don't just plop your suitcase on the bed, open it up, scatter your laundry, as the case may be. The best thing that you can do if you have a home is to leave your suitcase in the garage, as the case may be, until you're ready to unpack that suitcase the proper way. Or even, if you bring your bag into an apartment, take that suitcase and put it inside a sealed garbage bag. When you're ready, unpack the suitcase, take all the clothes in the suitcase, and run it through the dryer for at least 15 to 20 minutes. That will get rid of the bugs that may be stowing a ride home from your vacation in your laundry, and you just don't want them to go into your bed. If there are clothes that need to be basically dry cleaned, it's still safe to take dry clothes and put them in the dryer for 15 to 20 minutes. If you want to launder your clothes, you're welcome to, but that's not a necessary step for getting rid of the bugs. But basically, that whole approach of basically trying to prevent an incident in your home by keeping the problem away is really the best practice that we can give you.
When you're talking to people who've been traveling and they've come back and they thought they've gotten bed bugs from someplace else, are there particular cities people seem to be dragging it home from more than others?
I don't have an easy map of where it comes from. I will just say this, is that the best approach you can take is assume that every hotel room has bed bugs, because even if there's a website called the Bed Bug Registry where people report they had a bed bug problem allegedly in this hotel on this date. Now, the hotel could have cleaned up that room immediately after they saw that report or after someone reported to management, and no one ever in room 4A of this particular chain's hotel in Florida will ever have bed bugs again, or alternatively, there may be no report on that hotel. So the best thing really is to presume that there are bed bugs everywhere and be vigilant when you get home, and just never take your suitcase and put it on your bed.
In general, also just clutter in the house. Bed bugs like to live in clutter.
They do. They also like to hide and use furniture that people can get in flea markets, so you're going to get more than fleas from flea markets. If you see a mattress on the street or a couch on the street, please don't take it home. And also, please tell your friends about what you're doing, because you don't want them to get bed bugs either. I mean, no one admits to having a bed bug problem because it is a rather, difficult incident, and people think that there's some kind of shame in them. There's no shame in having bed bugs, but the best thing you can do is basically do your best to avoid them and help your friends to avoid them, which is why Bell Environmental is all about providing educational tips via our bed bug dog Roscoe's website, and also via his Facebook page, facebook.com/where'sroscoe. Bell Environmental is frequently giving advice, interviews, and discussions, and providing tips for people so you don't have this problem.
The website is bell-environmental.com. Glenn Waldorf has been our guest today on Get Connected. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here.
This has been Get Connected with Nina Del Rio on 106.7 Light FM. The views and opinions of our guests do not necessarily reflect the views of the station. If you missed any part of our show or want to share it, visit our website for downloads and podcasts at 1067lightfm.com. Thanks for listening.